it's your girl Autumn Rain, and this is Beyond the Record. Welcome back to Beyond the Record, your weekly update in all things music and culture. It's your girl, Autumn Rain. So today we are going to start off with the Emmy Awards. So as you know, the Emmys take place. It awards all actors, actresses, directors in TV and now streaming shows. So there's a lot to cover, but these are just a few standout moments that I personally really enjoyed watching the show. So first up, you got Tramell Tillman. He is in Severance, and he won for supporting actor in a drama for the show. And he made history as the first Black man to win this award. Now, in 2025, being the first Black anything is absolutely insane to me, but in all, I'm really proud of him that he won this award too, to put it on the map. And they won a bunch of awards that night. So I definitely is going to be a show that I'm going to add to my queue to watch, because I heard of it. I just haven't sat down to watch it, but I definitely now want to watch it. But also with him, I really, really loved his speech. He dedicated it to his mom, who was his guest for the show. And he said that like acting coaches are hard, but so are all great moms, right? And it was just really cute, really sentimental. I actually watched the show with my mom, so it was really cute to see that, and just glory to him. And now I just can't wait to see that show now, and I will watch solely because of him now. So I'm super, super excited to start that. So if you guys watch that, let me know in the comments if it's worth watching. But I think with all the awards they received, it definitely seemingly is. But tell me if you guys watch it, like who are some of your favorite characters, because definitely I will be doing a deep dive into that soon, because I just love good TV. So next up, I want to talk about Stephen Colbert. So basically, his show was canceled by CBS, and they stated it was for a financial reason, and that's why they decided to cancel the show. But, viewers of the show, I do watch that show. I think he does a really great job with, political commentary. And I think that is definitely one of the reasons why they decided to let him go. But like I said, this is what CBS stated, and it's just a financial decision as to why they decided to cancel it. But he did his big one, because he was able to get out and was able to win Outstanding Talk Series for his show, for his late night show. And I'm just super excited for that, because I do think it's a really good show. They push a lot of topics. They have really interesting guests. I think he's a very, very good interviewer. So I'm curious to see what CBS will replace him with. I don't think that announcement has come out, but we'll definitely talk about that. But it's such a high rated show. I think someone definitely is going to pick him up. He's such like a talented person. And also he lives in Jersey, I'm pretty sure. So go Jersey. But yeah, I think he is definitely someone that is going to, this is not going to be the last of him. So we'll definitely be seeing him on another network, or he can do something kind of like a Stephen A. and have his own like YouTube-esque show or something like that, and alongside being on a network. But I definitely think that, like I said before, we'll definitely see him on our screens sooner than later. Next up, I want to talk about, they had like a running joke throughout the whole show about the Boys and Girls Club. So basically, CBS said they were going to donate $100,000 if the actors and actresses were to go on stage and do their acceptance speeches. If they went over the time, they would deduct money from the donation. Now, knowing when I first saw, I'm like, they're definitely, this is just a joke, right? They're definitely not going to do that. And that ended up being the case as well, because at the end they ended up donating $350,000 because of the host and the network. It was a combined amount between the two. So I think it was funny. I think some people got like definitely tiresome of it, and some people definitely mentioned it in their speech and were cognizant of the time of them running over. But I'm always like iffy about it, like the whole acceptance speeches things, because I believe that this is their moment, right? There's some people that are on that stage for the very first time. Some people gracing the stage for like the fifth, sixth time, right? And I think that these people work so hard and they should have enough time, but also, you know, everyone has to be cognizant of everyone else. And the show only has a couple of hours, you know, to get the program done. So I'm always like so mixed on that, but maybe just giving them an extra 30 seconds or something, which I know in time will, having worked in network, is just like, it's a big difference. Like you think 30 seconds is so little of a time, but yeah, I definitely think there should be something going on, but we'll see. I think that all of the speeches are really good, but I do want to call out one speech in particular. It's with Hackstar. I did not know who she was before that, but it's Hackstar, Hannah, I'm going to butcher her last name, but Hannah and Binder, I think. And she called out ICE and she called out Palestine and also her team, the Birds, Philadelphia Eagles. So she said, go Birds, F ICE, and free Palestine. And as everyone knows, like go Birds is reference to the Philadelphia Eagles, ICE, obviously, with the immigration raids, and then free Palestine because of the war in Gaza. So I think that it was really special of her to get up and use her time on stage. And she also jokingly referenced the Boys and Girls Club donation joke, like I'll pay the difference, you know, because she went over on her time as well. But she won for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. And I just love the fact that she used her time, right, to get up on stage and talk about causes that are very dear to her, which is what she told Variety in a later interview. She said that the issues are very dear to her heart. She is Jewish too, so I think it also comes as like trying to do that divide in which like not everyone is in support of what's happening. So I think that was very big of her to do that, and I just love that she used her time in order to like shed a light on that. Then there was something else that was a little bit, I would say, troublesome, right? That I saw in the Emmys. And that was that because they celebrated, you know, the 25th anniversary of Survivor, Gilmore Girls. My sister is a big fan of the later show. And I think that, and they also celebrated the 40th anniversary of Golden Girls, a show that my mom is a big fan of, right? But they did not celebrate Girlfriends, which is crazy to me, right? Because that is such a big show. Like my friends and I have watched it repeatedly. It's now on Netflix. And they also had the 25th anniversary. And it just goes to show that like a lot of like Black TV shows aren't giving that same respect. Granted, you know, Survivor, Gilmore Girls, like they own the fall season, right? And then Golden Girls is just a classic. But Girlfriends is also a classic. Okay, it's a classic, maybe not to everyone, right? But like, I don't think it's like you can maybe consider it like a niche audience, but I wouldn't say it's that niche. Like everyone knows Girlfriends, in my opinion, at least like around my circle and stuff like that. I think it is a really big show, and I wish they would have gotten that recognition as well, because they also recently, I think the whole cast got together. There's been rumors of, you know, them coming back and doing a show, which I would have loved. And they just made such a pivotal moment, like in TV history as well. So I just would have loved for them to get that same respect, especially since like the cast is, you know, seemingly still all friends and stuff like that. So to have them on stage would have been such a big moment. Hopefully they will get their moment at another another award show this year. That would be great. Maybe like the BET Awards, something of that nature, because I definitely think that that show should have been recognized. So I just want to call that out. I also saw that on social media. A lot of people were pretty vocal about that. And I just believe that maybe in the future that will all come about and happen. So moving away from the Emmys, I wanted to talk about music, right? So we're going to talk about Drake. He just dropped the song Doghouse. And this is, I believe, his third single of this year that he's dropped. Besides, I'm not counting the joint project with Party Next Door. So now he's dropped Doghouse. He throws shots at DeRozan, which like he was a former friend of the NBA star, and he just basically in that he talks about how he should have brought home a championship to the Toronto Raptors, which is Drake's home team, but DeRozan's from Compton, so. And they've been bickering. I don't have to even go into that, but if you guys know, like they have been on not the greatest of terms since DeRozan went to Kendrick's pop out last year, and he also starred in the Not Like Us video, which obviously is the diss track about Drake. So they just haven't been friends for quite a while. So it's not super surprising that he threw shots at him. He was basically just talking about how disappointed he is in him. He said, he raps on the track, "When you was a part of the team, we used to be planning our Mexico trip in the spring, spur of the moment." And then he said, "Why did we think you could get us a ring?" Talking about when he was on the Toronto Raptors. Because now he's on the Sacramento Kings, so it is what it is. I don't know if that relationship will be prepared, but we'll see. And then he also throws a shot at Kendrick. Also not surprising. He says, "F a money tree, I'm a cash cow. If I ain't give a F then I don't give a F now," right? So still obviously beef with Kendrick. Not surprising. That is probably just never ever going to happen again. Them being cool, but it is what it is. But I just wanted to call out that he did drop that song. Iceman, which is the album he's supposed to drop this year, still doesn't have a release date. I'll keep you guys updated to see when that actually drops. He's always been doing like different like streaming episodes and stuff, but he hasn't given us a release date or timeline really for it. Just rumored stuff. And 21 Savage, who's obviously a frequent collaborator with Drake and a close friend of his, said that he wants him to drop the album. So we'll see if that actually happens. Probably sometime this year, but like I said, no release date right now. Then we have, oh my God, this was such a great moment. I was so happy when I saw this, when Clips and John Legend, they performed at the Vatican. John Legend is a feature on the intro track of Let God Sort Him Out, which is their album they released earlier this year. And they performed the song The Birds Don't Sing. I remember hearing that song and I was like, wow, like it's just so emotional. You can hear it. In the lyrics, they talk about their now deceased parents in there, and it's just such an emotional song. And then to have Malice and Pusha T, like their father was a pastor, right? And to perform that at the Vatican, and they made history as the first rappers to perform at the Vatican. So I just need them to get all the awards this Grammy season. Like they're coming for everything. I want G and X by Kendrick to win some stuff too, but I definitely want Clips to take home some trophies for sure. But I thought that was so cool. If you haven't gone to check out that video, for sure you need to go see that. Then another performance moment that was really big was that of Kayla Nicole and Chris Brown. So at the LA show at SoFi Stadium, Kayla Nicole got on stage. As you know, Chris Brown he brings a girl on stage from his Take You Down, right? A very, very popular song in his discography. and he always brings a girl off stage and like grinds on them and blah blah blah, right? So then you got Kayla Nicole, and Kayla Nicole show out, like, watch that video so many times. But of course, as always, when things go viral, there is some sort of backlash. And it's not surprising from Chris Brown's part, because a lot of people said that he's a colorist, and Kayla Nicole being brown skinned, right? Like, they're like, oh, this is performative, like, of him to put her on stage. There's a lot of social media backlash. So he also spoke out on his Instagram, because one thing about Chris Maurice Brown, he is going to talk back to you. So he said, miss me with the colorist rage baiting, right? And then he posted a little shot from their interaction onto his Instagram page as well. So it's like, with all in good fun, but also there's always a conversation that's bigger than the event to be happening as well. And yeah, I think that it was such a really like cool moment. But like I said, there's always layers to things, and people are always going to talk. So let me know what you thought of the interaction, and have you guys even seen the video? But I'm pretty sure a lot of people have at this point. If you're on X, Instagram, whatever social media platform you prefer, you're definitely going to see that video. Now I want to go into, so before I go into the on the road segment, I want to do this last thing that was just announced yesterday. So Cardi B is pregnant. She has a new album coming out too, which we'll get into as well. But she announced that she is pregnant. She's been doing a lot of interviews as the album rollout, and then she told Gayle King that she's expecting her first child with Stefon Diggs. As you guys know, he is on the Patriots. He's a wide receiver, and yeah, I'm like super happy for them. She seems very, very happy. She has always she hasn't talked a lot about the relationship, but as you know, she was previously married to Offset. She filed for divorce last year, and they have 3 children together. They have 2 daughters, Culture and Blossom, and then they have a son, Wave, together. So, definitely for sure. I don't think anyone was probably thinking this, but a lot of people said on social media too, like, will they get back together? Like, referring to her and Offset. Probably most likely not, now that she's expecting a child with Stefon Diggs. But he also, I believe, also has another child as well from a previous relationship. So he knows what it's like, to raise children. To some point, she has 3 children with Offset, and you know what, she just seems happy. So I think people just gotta leave her alone. There was a lot of speculation when she was in court. She was falling asleep. She said that she was really tired. She had the interaction with the reporter outside the courthouse, threw a pen at them when they presumed that she was pregnant. And I just think now in 2025, with a lot of women being open about, pregnancy loss and infertility, we just need to be sensitive around those topics, and that we shouldn't speculate if someone is pregnant, right? So happy that she made the announcement. She felt comfortable to make that announcement. A lot of people wait for reasons, and I think that we should just let women speak up about these things when they choose to do it. Okay, so leave people alone. But congrats to Cardi and Stefon Diggs. I can't wait to see her at a Patriots game, on TV though, because we Cowboys fans over here. But I'm super excited for her to have that experience, and she's going to be in that, WAG lifestyle for sure. She did say that she is going to come out to the games once the whole album rollout is all complete as well. So with that, she also, to go pivot into our on the road segment, Cardi B, along with Mariah the Scientist and Ariana Grande, are all going to be hitting the road. So starting off with Cardi B, she said that she also announced her tour this week. She is going to be starting in February, and she's going to be hitting a bunch of states. nationwide, and she's going to end in Atlanta, and then she's going to start in Palm Springs, California. So that's going to be really interesting. She'll be in my area near my birthday. So that'll be a really cool birthday surprise if I decide to go to the concert. I don't know what I'm going to be doing for my birthday next year yet, but she's one of the people, like, I would love to see her, definitely for sure, in concert. I've never seen her perform before, but from the video, she seems like a really good performer. Mariah the Scientist, she also announced her tour this week. Her tour starts earlier. Her tour starts literally in a week. I'm seeing now that looking at her tour list right now, it's going to start in Buffalo, New York on Friday, September 26th. And it is going to run all through April. And she's also going to end in Atlanta. So that's super interesting. She'll be in my area that the first two sets. Like, she'll be in New York September 27th, and then hitting Rhode Island, stuff like that. And as she makes her way, and she's also doing a couple of dates overseas in Paris and in the UK. So, but fans all over will be able to see her. She'll be coming back to New York too in February, I see. So if you're interested, definitely you want to check those out. Ariana Grande is also going on tour. She's starting her tour next year, but I know her tickets went on sale this week. A couple people I follow already try to get tickets. A lot of people are complaining about the resellers as well. So be sure, if you can, to get tickets from her versus like a reseller, as I know those prices are super, super, super high. But her tour starts in Oakland, California on June 6th, and that runs all the way through September 1st of next year. And she has a couple, basically it looks like from her site and all, from her tour dates, she's doing like several dates in the same city, like 1, 2, 3, 5 dates in LA. Then she has 3 dates in Austin, a couple in Florida, 3 dates in Atlanta. She'll be in Brooklyn, like 5 dates. So that's what she's mostly doing. And then she's going to be in Canada for a bit, and also in London for like the longest stretch from August 15th until September 1st, like on and off. So if you're an Ariana fan, be sure to check those tickets out as well, because like I said, the reseller amounts are insane. In addition to individual artists going on tour, Coachella also made their announcement with their lineup as well, which I talked to a bunch of people like in the industry this week about it. And I'm like, wow, like this is coming out so early because it's next April, right? But I just want to know what you guys think of the lineup. So for the headliners, we have Sabrina Carpenter, not surprising, Justin Bieber, also not surprising, and Karol G. Honestly, I don't listen to her music like that, but I know of her and I've listened to a couple of songs, and I think she is great too. I know that she performed at the Chiefs and Chargers game, the first of the season. So obviously, you know, she has that performance packed down. But then I just wanted to make note that there's not a lot of rap performances for Coachella this year. And I felt like in the previous years, there's like 10, 15, 20, even some years of rap performances. And now this year, we only have 6. So the 6 rappers that are going to be there are Young Thug, Clips, Sexy Red, Central C, Little Sims, and Swally. And then for R&B, I only saw Teddy Swims and Giveon. So I also could be missing some people, so let me know. But also people can always be added, subtracted, whatever. But I want to know what you guys think of the lineup. I thought it was pretty interesting that they really did not have people that I was really expecting. So I want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments. So moving on to our first listen. segment. The two albums I'll be talking about this week is going to be Swag 2 by Justin Bieber and Heart Sold Separately by Mariah the Scientist. So Swag 2 obviously is the another album, second album from his original Swag. It's the follow-up and has a pink cover versus like the black cover, and I feel like this album had a bunch of different feelings. This album was more so lovey-dovey. The other album, in my opinion, was more so like accountability, kind of like okay, I effed up in certain things. He does talk about that a little bit on this album, but I felt this was more like a romantic album. So my three takeaways, my three favorite songs from there is I Do, love that song, Need It, and All the Way, which have all different vibes. So I loved how this album like transitioned from each song, and I do think my only I don't want to say negative, my critique for this album was to be that maybe it deserved a little less songs. I got to the point where I was like, oh, this is like going on like way longer than it needed to be. I felt like at least maybe 2 to 3 songs could have been cut, but overall I gave this album 8.5. I can not wait. I need to see this album performed live, both of them, and I honestly can't even choose which one I like the best, like Swag or Swag 2, but maybe I will do a whole separate segment between the two albums and what I feel about those two, because this is definitely an album that I will say is one of my favorites for this year. Next, I'm going to go on to Heart Sold Separately by Mariah the Scientist. My favorite tracks on here, she surprised me with this album. My favorite tracks are Is It a Crime? And which features Kali Uchis, and then you have Burning Blue. Obviously, that was a really big song for her. And then you have my two favorites were More and No More Entertainers. She ends the track with No More Entertainers, and I see that this project just surprised me just because I personally don't listen to her that much. I know her like big songs like Spread and stuff like that, but not her like listening to like a full album. At least I haven't in a very, very long time. But I thought the album was really constructed well. I think that the transitions between each song I really enjoyed. You can tell that was engineered very well. Like I said before with Mariah, I think she captivates love very well. I think she's very vulnerable with her lyrics, and I respect her for that. I would say for me, probably not one of my favorites I've listened to this year, but definitely a solid album. I understand where she gets her fan base from. I believe that she is someone who was just like not afraid to say the things that people are thinking, right? But yes, I believe that this album for me was definitely, I would say like a 7.5 to 8, which might be a little low for my Mariah the Scientist fan, so don't come at me. But I definitely see why people love her as much as she does. And she seems like such a sweet soul, like such a sweet person, besides all the stuff that's going on with her and Young Thug and stuff, with all the cheating allegations from his side. She seems like such a sweet individual. Like, I would love to meet her. I would love to talk to her. Like I said, I think she captivates love and yearning, and, you know, has these different experiences of like being, you know, maybe not treated fairly and disrespected. And I feel that she has a really great way in conveying that in her music. So, like I said, I think the project is solid, and I'm now looking forward to, you know, I would maybe love to see her while she's going on tour as well. So now on to our last segment. It's New Music Friday. So we have first up Cardi B, Am I the Drama? Definitely highly anticipated. Definitely it's going to be my first listen for next week, so you guys will be able to hear my thoughts on it. She recently also this week announce who will be on the project with her. She has Cash Cobain, Janet Jackson, And I think she also makes history as having the first Janet feature on an album as a female artist, having Janet Jackson on there. So, because Janet doesn't really do features, right? And I don't think she's ever been a feature on another woman's project. So that is huge, right? And then she also, like, sampled, interloped Jay-Z's Imaginary Players for her second single for this project. So she's doing some big hitters for this project already. And it's also going to include as features Kehlani, Lizzo, Summer Walker, Megan Thee Stallion, who she's created several songs with, Selena Gomez, and Tyler. I think we're in for a treat. She has a bunch of really talented people on this project. So far, just to keep you guys up, she's going to have WAP, Up, Outside, and Imaginary Players on this project. These have all been released thus far. Obviously, WAP and Up are older tracks that she's just adding to the project, which to me, I already talked about this before, so I'm not going to go into it again, but makes sense. Understand why some fans can be frustrated, but at the end of the day, it's music business, and I think that's a smart business move to get that all of her streams together and have people play these two songs from her that people have continued to play since they came out. So is what it is. So now with two other projects that are coming out, you have for the pop people, you got Jesse McCartney. He's going to have an EP coming out called Waitlist. He's also going on tour, and I think he'll be in my area next month. So we'll see how that goes. And then lastly, we have Miley Cyrus. She's going to do a deluxe of her album Something Beautiful, which she released earlier this year. I will be listening to that as well, because there's rumors that she's going to go on tour next year as Hannah Montana, and I will be there. I will find a way there. But thank you guys so much for tuning in every single week. I really appreciate you guys. I want to do some more social interactions with everyone, so please comment, like, subscribe, everything on YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok. I'm everywhere. And yes, I will see you all next week.